Okay, so again, these reviews are going to be a little more spoiler heavy than usual. I'm basically going to have to recite the whole plot and then give my overall thoughts on each episode with a little break point in between. So I'll try not to be too blow by blow, but yeah, there's going to be spoilers here. I'm recapping 2 episodes, so yeah, it's kind of going to happen. Anyway, episode 2 of She-Hulk is called Superhuman Law, and it deals with the fallout from episode 1 with the Titania attack. And yes, She-Hulk beats Titania, but it kind of comes at an expense, as the district attorney's office in, I believe it's supposed to be Los Angeles. The second one is in LA. The second part of the episode takes place in LA, but I'm not sure if the first part is necessarily supposed to, or it's supposed to be in New York. But anyway, She-Hulk stops Titania. The case is declared a mistrial because of the attack, and while everything seems to be all right, she gets fired because it's like, yeah, this is way too much of a distraction. Like, you're too much. No one's going to want to hire you because of this. It's just, no one wants a superhero lawyer, as they said, even though she has no intention of being a superhero. Added to this, she then has to have an awkward dinner with her family. And also, yes, I am aware of the clickbait headline that is supposed to be a reference to Wolverine, supposedly. I did not see it. I actually had to look it up. I knew there was something Wolverine related because I came to the episode so late, but I didn't. Yeah, it's like, it was a blink and you miss it type thing, and I was just taking notes at that point. And anyway, Jen goes around. She applies, and then she gets an unlikely offer from the law firm that she was going up against, who wants her to head up a new superhuman law division, but as the She-Hulk, which is kind of weird, but basically they kind of want a marketing point for this. And her first case happens to be the upcoming parole hearing for Emilblonsky, aka the Abomination. And so she goes to visit Blonsky in his cell, and he assures her, look, I've learned a lesson. I don't want to be the Abomination anymore. I've learned to control everything. I meditate daily. I've apologized to those I've heard via haiku. It turns out he even apologized to Bruce like that. And at one point, Jen actually contacts Bruce, and he says, look, if he says he's changed, he deserves a chance to rehabilitate, to prove that he actually has changed. And it seems to be going well, except for the fact that then the footage of Shang-Chi, if you recall, where Wong is fighting the Abomination inside the underground fighting tournament, has leaked to the press, and that's basically how the episode ends, except for the little stinger with Jen basically helping out her family around the house as She-Hulk. Helping change a tire on a car, carrying heavy things, I think having to pick up things from a great height. And the scenes of her family, they're very, yes, also I am aware that her father is Marklin Baker, aka Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers, if you're old enough to remember that show. It's like, oh hey, he's still around and doing stuff. Okay. And there's sort of a, like I said, it's a nice little scene, but it's, I'd say overall the episode is really fun. There's a lot of good humor in it. There's some good jokes. I do like especially the banter between Blonsky and Jennifer Walters. I think a lot of that works really well. And, good character banter. If I do have a problem, I do think, unfortunately, a lot of the supporting cast around the law firm is a tiny bit underdeveloped outside of Jen's paralegal, Ginger, who she is able to bring along with when she gets hired. Other than that, it's like, there's not too much there, unfortunately. And I think, especially when we get to the next episode, you'll kind of see why I wish there had been a little more development to that. In fact, I think this is where the length of these episodes is really hurting this show. Why is this thing half an hour long? Man, just, make it even 40 minutes, and I think it would just greatly improve things, because you have a little more room to let stories breathe a bit. This is almost the opposite problem, some of the other shows have had where they're kind of grinding their gears too much. This thing is, it's way too short. like they're having to rush through so much. So, yeah, that's not about. I mean, overall, I'd still give the episode an A. It's like it's very enjoyable. I do not regret watching this at all. But yeah, still, again, just the pacing problems.
This is the Hulk. You can place the Hulk into the Rage Cage. With a few pumps of the Hulk inflator, you can make the Hulk grow in size. Rip out of the shirt. And break out of the Rage Cage. The Hulk comes complete as shown. Some assembly required from Fun Stuff.
Reach for the incredible flavor of Airheads. Hulk is on the move, and so is this limited time Hulk Out flavor bar that turns your tongue green. You can discover one of 4 collectible tattoos in every 6-pack and feel the adrenaline rush with Airheads.
Okay, the next episode, or episode 3, is titled "The People versus Emilblonsky," and we pick up basically right where we left off. Jen goes to Blonsky in prison again, says, "What the hell is going on? How did you break out?" And he says, "Look, I came back of my own accord. I did not break out of my own accord. Basically, Wong grabbed me and said I needed to do this to participate for something. And I agreed as long as he returned me back at peace. And, you know, I have control over my transformation. I know I have. It's like you have to kind of trust me on the. If you can track him down." And so that's what they have to do. They have to track Wong down. You know, eventually he does. And that sort of dovetails a little bit into the subplot in this episode, which involves Dennis, I can't think of what his last name was, who is Jen's ex-coworker at the DA's office, who is just a real douche. He's very sexist. He's, thinks, he's God's gift to women. And he feels that he's been conned by a girlfriend who he thought was Megan Thee Stallion, but in reality was a shape-shifting elf named Celeste. And, the problem is like they're trying, there obviously is a bit of a case here, but they're trying to get him to admit that, he was so stupid that he honestly thought he was dating Megan Thee Stallion, but he's too prideful to actually admit it. And after the first part of Emilblonsky's parole hearing. Sorry about that. Emilblonsky's parole hearing, yeah. The first part of that, which involves Wong coming to testify and explain everything, and then booking it when they bring up the fact that, you did technically break someone out of jail. That's illegal. Blonsky even goes as far as to show that, look, I can transform into being the Abomination, which he does, but he doesn't attack anyone. What it sort of backfires because it just terrifies everyone. And as Jen and her co-worker, who's representing Dennis, are sort of hashing out their problems, she mentions like, oh God, she and Ginger both bring out the fact that, Dennis just would not stop talking. Like, he's such an idiot, he doesn't, understand that this is not impressive to women at all. And, he goes, are you willing to testify to that? So Jen basically winds up testifying on Dennis's behalf by basically playing like, yeah, he's so conceited that he honestly thought he could have win over, a celebrity like Megan Thee Stallion. And, it actually wins the case and also greatly pleases the real Megan Thee Stallion. And this also gives Jen the idea of setting up parameters for Blonsky's parole, that he has to wear Bruce's prototype inhibitor to keep from transforming as best as he can as he moves to a plot of land with his group of pen pals, who are totally not a harem. They're a harem. And, sets up this meditation retreat. So, again, like, you can't if you transform, you're back in prison. And it works, and she gets interviewed on the news, who, for some reason, wants to talk about her dietary beauty habits. And again, much to Jen's chagrin, the media keeps calling her SheHulk. She did not name herself that. And afterwards, as she comes home, she's suddenly jumped by the Wrecking Crew, a group of characters we've talked about on my Random Trade review show. They're basically people who got criminals who got Asgardian magic enchanted construction equipment. They're led by the Wrecker, who was a enchanted crowbar. I'm trying to think who the other ones are. But they all have various. Like I said, it's all various forms of construction equipment, and they're trying to get a sample of her blood, but she hulks out and takes them all down, and kind of has a bit of a painful realization that she is going to have to go through the rest of her life probably as She-Hulk a little bit. She isn't really going to be able to rest as just Jen. And it does lead, though, to a funny mid-credit scene where she actually does manage to win over the real Megan Thee Stallion as a client. And they dance. And She-Hulk twerks. Like I said, overall, again, fun episode. A lot of good stuff. Good fourth wall breaking, especially in this one, I think. Even more so because there's a point where where she and Ginger are talking about how to try to contact Wong to get him to testify, and it's like he's either a sorcerer in New York or a librarian in Tibet. And then she turns to the camera and says, "Okay, now look, I know you're saying yes, it's cool to see Wong and everything. This isn't going to be a cameo of the week show. I mean, outside of Bruce in the first episode, Abomination in the second, and now Wong." So, yeah, just like, oh, shoot. Like I said, good little funny moments like that. Again, too short. This is where I said that a bit of explanation of the rest of the law firm would have really helped because, again, when we see Dennis and this other lawyer, it would have felt a bit better if I had known more about him. Exactly. It's a decent enough story, but again, if I'm more familiar with these characters, I might, get more into the B-plot, which, again, outside of the funny ending, really isn't that great. It is kind of a hindrance in that. And again, too short, and also bad audio mixing again. I don't know what it is with these Disney Plus shows, where sometimes they sound just like this, and then all of a sudden everyone's talking like this, and I can't hear them, and I have to turn my volume up way high. Still, again, those are all pretty minor quibbles still. Again, this is getting an A. It's probably the best overall Disney Plus streaming series for Marvel since maybe WandaVision. Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye was, I think Hawkeye was solid all the way through too. So Hawkeye would probably be the better analogy there. So yeah, still very enjoyable. I do wonder where they're going with this blood sample subplot, where that's necessarily going. I don't know if it's going to be, is it going to be the law firm that's crooked, or is it someone else? So, again, it seems to be heading in some different directions. I do want to see where it's going. So, see you all for episodes 4 and 5 next time. And, I did give this an A, right? Okay, so, next video is going to be the WWE Clash at the Castle recap and review. I'll try to see if I can get that up on Saturday. It's probably not going to be until Sunday. My LCS is hosting a little mini-con, so I'd like to try to go to that and then get back in time to review Clash at the Castle, but hopefully there aren't any kickoff show matches. Now I'm wishing that there aren't. I'm so used to there not being any. But now with Triple H in charge, who knows? Anyway, after that, there's going to be the first Madden review. I barely had any chance to really play it. I've gotten to play it a few times, but it's just like, I play in like 2 or 3 games at a time when I do that, but again, I haven't been able to truly formulate many thoughts on it, so, because I've been so busy with the 200th episode and that taking up so much time, so, yeah, and then having to immediately prepare for this after that, so, yeah, again, you can kind of see where I am stuck a little bit. There will be a Madden video, and maybe even 2, where I do like a little season preview before the Thursday games get started. And then I'm going to try to do something where I can talk more and more, because I need to put up the Madden videos a bit more frequently so I can better utilize them, And then after that will be the random trade review on Hockey Apocalypse. See you all next time.
Hey guys, remember you can request a movie or a television series for me to review at my Patreon at patreon.com/CPTime for Cat Productions. Also, remember to like the video, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can be alerted to further videos.